Hello, just turning the air conditioner off so you don't have so much background noise. How is everyone doing? It's the 3rd of July. Yesterday was my sister Adrian's birthday, so she doesn't watch my videos, so I didn't make one to say happy birthday, but happy birthday to my sister. Happy birthday to any of you. I watched just a little bit of a couple of videos yesterday. I see where Carm and Chris met. That's way cool. I also caught up a little bit with Chris 4127 Basket. I understand if you're watching that video that Fred is back to making videos. I haven't caught him yet, but the main thing I want to say other than watching your videos is I'm just glad that everyone is in action, and I'm glad that the VC is alive and well. It belongs to whoever wants it, and you do with it as you will. You know, in a positive light is all I have to say. Let me tell you about some more music. Okay, I'll start here. This just came in the mail yesterday, but I can tell you already about it because I like it. And I've already played it several times. Somehow the label or the people associated with Jamoni Music started sending stuff to me. And this is the latest by Belp. They sent me an EP by this band, Belp. I think it was called Elephant. This one is called Hippopotamus, brand new on the Jamoni Music label. Clear vinyl. This is electronic, and it's not techno, it's not dance music. It's the kind of electronic music that I like, which is made to be listened to. There's beat involved. And if there's the one thing I'd say about this record is like there's quite a bit going on here texturally and melodically, where some of the beats that they use, it's like, man, they could have kept that beat off of this. Now I really liked this, and side 2 in particular got me going. I came back to side 2 and played side 2 twice all the way through. It just ended up building up to something really rather beautiful, melodically. Belp. They didn't send me an info sheet, so I don't remember where these folks are from. But this is brand new, 2018, guys. You guys that like electronics, or if you're just interested, look this up. They're online. Everything's online. Belp, Hippopotamus. Thank you for sending this to me. Label. Hugo was very nice. He continues to buy records, and he bought A Hard Day's Night and then upgraded it. Now, as much as I like the Beatles, I've never owned this album, so now I have a copy of A Hard Day's Night. It's beat, but it plays well. And this was significant. When the movie came out, my parents made a special effort to allow us to see the movie. Because like I say, we were pretty dirt poor as a kid. And my parents could afford to buy me one record a year on my birthday. So when this movie happened, you know, we were out of our minds in love with the Beatles, me and my sisters in particular. So we got to go see the movie, and it was, you know, it was memorable. Not so much the greatest movie, but this whole time of our lives. Beatlemania. Beatlemania. I picked up another record. I'm glad that I'm able to buy some records. This is the thing that I do with my money. And this is something that is rare. The original is rare. I picked this up. Steve Lacy with Yuji Takahashi and Takahisa Kosugi. Distant Voices. This is a reissue of a Japanese-only release by Steve Lacy, the jazz saxophonist who is a great improviser. I have some of his albums. Probably should have prepared and pulled them to show along with this, but this was just reissued. Originals of this are very hard to come by, but Steve Lacy made a trip to Japan, and this collaboration between Yuji Takahashi, who is primarily known for classical piano records, is unusual and extraordinary. It's improvisation. It's wide open. Now, I particularly love stuff like this. You know, one of the things I've learned about improvisation that helps me to appreciate it is that when it comes to improvisation, it is the event, it's the doing as much as the outcome that is important, if maybe not so much more important, the doing, okay? And by that, when you improvise, you don't know what's going to happen. Even if you lay out sort of a plan, things may come together, they may not. Streams may coalesce, they may stay apart. But it's fascinating because improvisation, when you give yourself into it and allow it to do what it's going to do, can really be educational, stimulating, thrilling, like better than watching a movie, because a lot of times in movies, as you watch the movie, you start to see how it's going to unfold. That can happen in improvisation, and it also does not. And I like that about improvisation. That's why I like to do it. This is a really wonderful album. It's not an easy listen, though. But it's the kind of improvisation that I like because it incorporates elements that don't necessarily, wouldn't necessarily think go together. There's even some voice on here that pushes, you know. I love the sound of the voice. Don't get me wrong. You hear me saying I don't get into words. The sound of the human voice is very powerful. Words are powerful. But it is the total picture that's more important to me. Now, with that said, I was just at the art gallery last night at Hugo's, and Dereck had brought some records, and we were listening to Black Star last night, Talib Kweli and Mos Def, and I was really getting into it. Mostly, I was getting into their flow, mainly because of the backing tracks were so strong. But I get into hip-hop. I do. I get into this stuff, you know, got some fruit fly or something in here. I get into it, but it's the total picture, okay? A couple more things I picked up recently used. This one was a real cool find for me. Anima, Monte Alto, the reissue of it. Paul and Limpe Fuchs. Again, some German folks who are well known as just amazing and bold improvisers. People who've been doing this in public, all over the place. This came out in the 70s on their private label. This is a repress, 500 copies. What is this, number 81? Once again, this is improvised. On one side, it's them playing instruments that they created. The Fuchs horn, Fuchs bass, drums, and the Fuchs zither. This is really wonderful. It's what I just said about improvisation covers this. Both sides, including the piano. They're trained musicians, you know, and that's what can come through in improvisation, where a good musician or a person who's open to the music lets the music happen rather than trying to control what's happening. That's when magic happens, or that's when improvisation really comes together. This is a good example of that. Anima, Monte Alto. Here's one I bought because it was like, I didn't know about this. Heiner Stadler, horn player, Brains on Fire, on the Music Heritage Society label. When I saw this, I said, really? Then I looked to see who's on it. Joe Chambers on drums, Barry Phillips on bass, Joe Farrell, Garnet Brown and Jimmy Owens, Reggie Workman and Lenny White. And this is real, real good. It looks completely nondescript. And that's why when I saw it, I said, oh, really? This cooks. It's not completely free. It's composed, but it's fire. This is what they call fire. I'd even put this in the spiritual jazz fire category, yeah. Brains on Fire is a good title for this outing. I was really surprised to find this. This is real strong, really good. And it's the sort of record that you could see and you would just not think anything of it. I looked at it, and then I looked and saw who was on it, This is a winner. You jazz lovers, Heiner Stadler. Heiner Stadler. Pick up on it. I'm just going to talk about, in a couple of days I should have the CD release coming out from Randy's Alternative Music called The World is Burning. There's already pictures of it on my Facebook page because the label run by Randy in Pittsburgh, they got their shipment in already. Now he's had part of the shipment sent to me, but it isn't here. It's not here till Thursday. Obviously when it comes in I'll be making a video and showing it and telling you how to get it, but that's happening and I'm really excited about that. Some other stuff's going on too, but let me be quiet and get out of here and get my day started. Be well, y'all.